Hi, I'm John Kruger, an Educational Technical Lead for VMware Education. Welcome to the first in a series of modules about vCloud Director. This module is vCloud Director Concepts and Architecture. We'll have follow-up modules for a number of vCloud Director topics, including installation, creating provider resources, organizational resources, vApps, and networking. When we think about vCloud Director and we think about an infrastructure as a service cloud, we need to think and remember that there is an additional set of layers of abstraction on the traditional compute model. We have our physical layer. This is the networks, the servers, the firewalls, network connectivity to the internet and other endpoints that we're used to seeing in our data center. This was the infrastructure layer that was abstracted by vSphere. At this point, we should be fairly familiar with vSphere. Virtualization, server virtualization has been around for quite a while. But on top of the vSphere layer, we now add a cloud provider layer. This is for my cloud providers, my infrastructure administrators, the people managing my infrastructure cloud. And on top of that, we are adding another consumer layer. This is the organizational layer that we'll hear more about in a later module. This organizational or consumer layer is where our workloads are actually deployed and where our customers are actually managing their environments. When we look at the architecture of vCloud Director, we need to understand that a vCloud Director server is called a vCloud Director cell. I'm going to have one or more vCloud Director cells in my environment, probably more than one for redundancy's sake. If I have more than one vCloud Director cell, this makes up what we call a vCloud Director server group, and that's going to sit behind some kind of a load balancer. Underneath that is going to be my vSphere cluster or clusters that are actually providing the resources that are being delivered to my customers. When we get into vSphere, this is a standard vSphere infrastructure. There's nothing crazy we're doing here. These are basic HA and DRS enabled vSphere clusters that are being managed by a vCenter server. With vCloud Director and my vCloud Director cells, I'm looking at a Linux virtual machine on which I'm going to install the vCloud Director software. The vCloud Director software is made up of a couple of different pieces, one being a web server that provides us a portal for my administrators and my cloud consumers. I also can talk to my LDAP services, my SMTP services, and will in turn talk to my vCenter services to manage those resources. Also includes my vCloud APIs to provide for customization and automation of my environment. Now, VMware vShield is a critical and included component with vCloud Director. My vShield infrastructure is managed directly through my vShield Manager product, but we're actually going to manage through vCloud Director itself. vShield Manager, though, is what talks to my vCenter server, what manages the vShield edge devices that are going to be deployed for security. vShield Edge is a firewall device that we're deploying to ensure network security and multi-tenancy. Now, the web interface that we look at is Flex-based, which means I need Adobe Flash Player installed on my system. And this is going to provide me not only an administrative interface for my cloud or provider administrators, this is also going to provide an interface for my consumers, for my different organizations, for individual virtual machines or vApps that we're going to have to manage. Now, we've talked about our vSphere clusters. We've got two different kinds of vSphere clusters we need to think about in the context of vCloud Director. We need to talk about and think about a management cluster. This is a dedicated HA and DRS cluster on which is going to reside my vCenter server or servers, my vCloud Director cells, my database servers for vCloud Director and vCenter, and other management-related tools. We also have cloud consumer clusters, which are the clusters that are simply going to provide the resources for my organizations, for my cloud workloads. For more information about VMware vCloud Director, you can go to vmware.com, follow the products link to the vCloud Director page, and look under the Resources tab. We also have a number of VMware education courses available for vCloud Director. Please visit www.vmware.com/education for more information. We also have our Infrastructure as a Service certification available. You can find more information about this at vmware.com/certification.